Last week we finished making some nice pattern brushes. This week we're going to use it to actually decorate something with. I'm going to make a mandala because I like making those. We're going to go a square canvas. I'm using the monoline brush. That looks like it's a good size. And we're going to turn on the drawing guide for symmetry, rotational symmetry, and then we'll click done. Well, we need radial. There we are. Now let's click done. And what I'm going to do is duplicate layer 1 several times because I'm going to be moving up layers occasionally in order to use the flip horizontal to match one side with another in order to make even shapes. There are shapes that I can make one side of and not the other, and it's not pretty, so this is my fix for that. Let's start out with a nice line here in the middle. Let's edit that shape. There I go again with okay. I don't know why my hand does this, but it does. Alright. And then we're going to turn this into a petal shape. Edit that. Even it out. And feel free to follow along if you like. Let's go to here. And make a nice little arc. That's nice. And then we're going to come out here and box that in. There we go. And in preparation for having a design, we're going to create a little squiggly line there. That looks nice. And I'm going to make a ribbon coming off of here. So we'll make a curve. And then we'll make another curve underneath it that touches our first curve. I need more room, so I'm going to resize this. Turn on snapping and magnetics. That way we can recenter this perfectly. Okay, and the reason I wanted more room is we're going to do the first of our mirrored shapes. Let's go all the way up here and create that. Duplicate it and flip and see how close we are. Oh, we are very, very close. Merge that down, turn the opacity down, and then we'll go up a layer. And basically we want to have this come in from the center of where those two lines met. Duplicate, flip, and that looks great. We'll merge that down, and we will delete, not duplicate this. And then let's go ahead and merge that down. And then let's go up a layer. I want to create a heart over here. As you can see, I'm not very good at making hearts that are even. So I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to make a line that intersects where these cross. Change the opacity. Let's go up a layer. I'm going to make a nice fat heart right here. I'm going to duplicate that. Select, and once again we flip horizontal. That's a pretty neat feature to use. And we now have hearts going over here. Let's merge those down. I'm going to move this up and clear it because I might need to use it. We'll merge this down into the main one. And how detailed do we want to get? We're getting on towards the edge. Let's go ahead and finish this off. I'm going to create a border around our picture. I'm going to create a line. And we'll move it down to there. Let's dim out the opacity. Okay. And then I'm going to create an arc right here. And then I'm going to create another one that follows the shape of the heart right there. And one more to finish off with. Okay, and then let's do that again. Up above this, we're going to create an arc. And another arc. That one's a little wonky. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I'm going to edit it if I get to that point. There we go. I want that to be just a little fuller. Okay. And then we'll create another one here. We'll edit that. Let it match. And we've got this nice start for a mandala. Let's clear that. Opacity back to max. Okay, so now what we want to do is color it and start applying patterns to it. So let's grab 2 or 3 layers, put them underneath, and let's put a color here at the bottom. Now, can I thicken these up and make it look okay? I think that I can. Doesn't seem to want to match that one. So what I'm going to do is go down to that one and use my eraser to get rid of that. And that turns out okay. Merge that down. Alright, what colors are we going to use? Let's start off with pink in the middle. Make this the reference. And then I can do pink in the middle. There we go. And let's put a bright green after that. Those two go well together. And then we're going to use a cyan blue. We'll just slide that over to that. And then I want to use a brown on those, but let's go ahead and get the rest of these first. Let's get yellow there. And we'll do the cyan here. No, I think the cyan needs to be there. The yellow we'll put here. That looks better. And let's go with purple for here. And then we'll go with a blue for the hearts and the border. And then because brown is really just an orange that's darker, we'll do that now. And there is our basic coloring. Now it's time to add patterns. Leave the center the way it is. Let's take our patterns. I think dot 4 would do well in these cyan areas. So I am now going to do an automatic selection on just these. I choose an even smaller brush. So we can get right up in here. There we go. That gives it a little bit better quality. And let's select the brown areas here, since we're on the black brush, because I want to make these kind of look a little like ropes. I'm just going to put a bunch of curves here. Whoops. Let's go back to our monoline brush. And as we get further and further, I'm laying these curves a little bit flatter and flatter. That makes a nice texture there. But then what I did was I copied my monoline brush, and under properties I made the minimum size 0 so that I would be able to use a monoline that was even smaller. We're going to go up one layer. Let's turn that off, and we'll change the opacity of that. And we're going to create a Zentangle pattern. This uses straight lines to make it look like it's curved. Don't meet the end. Move it in a little bit and continue doing that throughout. And when we're done, it's going to look like there's a curved pattern in here instead of a pattern of straight lines. I think this is my favorite Zentangle pattern. And let's go ahead. We'll overdo that one a bit. Okay. And we do have lines that go over. So we're going to use our selection tool and select where our Zentangle pattern is. And then we will do an invert. And we'll tell it to clear. And that way the lines no longer cross over. We do, however, have a nice big blank spot right here. Let's take care of it. I'm going to just put another pattern right here. Yeah, that fills it in nicely. And we will put the opacity back up on here. We'll turn that on and check our results. It looks good. I like that. And I'm going to merge that layer down now. And let's go up to this layer. And let's go to our shapes. We're going to use the yin-yang symbol. Let's put a yin-yang here. And let's put one here. And I want one here, but I want it to be going the other direction. So to do that, we go down to the opposite side, and there we go. Yeah, that looks nice. They need to be filled in with white, though. So let's change the brush color to white. We're going to do a select. Oops. Take the reference off. And now we can do a select. Change that threshold. There we are. Invert. And whoop, let's duplicate that. And then we'll do fill. And then we can merge those down. There we go. And then we'll go back down to this layer. And let's take half of the yellow petals. That means that this has to be assisted again. So we make that the reference. And take every other petal. And what we're going to do in here is we're going to use that wonky square that we made last week, and we'll put it in here. That's going to look nice. Let's see, green against yellow. Let's make it a slightly darker green. Now, if you go over into here, it's going to color the opposite there as well as coloring where you want it to. So just make sure to follow along the edge of your shape so that it's just filling that one. And then let's take every other one again. I'm trying to just zoom in and it's not letting me. There we go. And we're going to stay with the green, but let's do the hills. I'll do Arch Hills 1. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. And for this blue area, I think we'll do the grid. And you got to be careful when you're doing this grid, not to go too far over. And they kind of meet there looking weird. So let's change things up a bit. I'm going to go back up to our original image here. And let's go back to the monoline. And we're going to create a line that goes here. That needs to be black. And we'll do a little fudging there just to make it look nice. There we go. Now that separates the two areas. And what happened to that? My. Let's go back to this green. Go back to my patterns and the arch hills. It looks like I got these two unselected. So let's select those and clear. And then select these four. There we go. That's better. And then back up to the border around the heart. Let's make that like that. Go back to black. And we're going to use just the grid 1. And we're going to put that in like that. That way, they're not overlapping the grids there and looking funny. But then we got to figure out what are we going to do with these others. We've got 8 of those that need a pattern. So let's make it grid 3, the one with the dots. Yeah, that looks nice. And then we've got the hearts and the border. Let's take our hearts and we're going to use just dots on those. Let's go down to our dots. I think dot 3 would look nice here. Let's change this to a dark blue. How does that look? Oh yeah, that looks much better. And then let's put dots on the border too. Yep, I think that's a good choice. We'll use smaller dots. We'll use the dot 4 again. And we have to be careful at these intersections. Okay, I don't know why that snapped to a line, but whatever. There we go. It turned out okay. Alright, so the brushes that we've been making over the past few weeks, we have now used to decorate a mandala. And just to finish this off, I'm going to do a little speed painting here. We're going to add some shading to give it a three-dimensional effect. So sit back and enjoy, and let's see what I can come up with. Alright, let's slow this up a little bit. Just so I can say, I changed this to quad symmetry so that I wouldn't go over the lines whenever I was trying to shade this particular section in. It's a good way to alter your symmetry in order to get the exact effect that you want. And back to speeding things up. Okay, I think I'm going to stop for there for now. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and that you post examples of your work on the forum if you are a member. The link is down in the description. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.